What is good, YouTube? It's your boy Mario B coming at y'all with our draft analysis for the ICP, the International Clown Posse, the International Competitive Pokemon League, whatever you want to call it. The GOATY League is back, baby. And if you've been a fan of the channel for a minute, you know that the ICP is deep in my heart. Two-time champion, yes sir, two-time champion. Not the returning champion, right? But two-time champion of the ICP. Four-time finalist, I think. Four-time finalist. Nah. All jokes aside, though, man, the ICP has a very special place in my heart and on this channel. And if you've been following for a while, you know that the ICP League is one of the most famous leagues. I'm gonna put a meme up here, like me in regular draft league, but me in the ICP. It's like that SpongeBob picture where like he's like lifting up the baby teddy bears, but then he's like all yoked, you know what I'm saying? That's like me with ICP, man. I love this league. As y'all may know, Seth owns it. I do co-commission it with him, and we got a pretty dope roster this season. Me and Seth decided to throw something together. We decided to do kind of like low tier with Terra captains, with Terra preview, and yeah, it should be really fun. Make sure to go check out all the other coaches, follow them. We will be duking it out for about 8 weeks, potentially more if we end up making playoffs. But we got some great coaches in here. Shout out Pup, Bope, the Pokemon Professor, Wreck-It Mike, CJ Jensen, Aaron 12, 6 Foot Hacks, Cherryman Cake, Bishme, Fin, Jack, Gravy, the GOAT. Yeah, we got a lot of great coaches in here, so make sure to go check them out. Go check out their draft analyses, and yeah, check out what Pokemon they're bringing to this week. But we're gonna go ahead and break down our team, talk about what we drafted a little bit. It's not gonna be too crazy, right? Gen 9's been out for a minute. We know what these mons do, but I'm really excited to show you the squad that I drafted, because I think it's really strong. Just to go over some of the rules for this draft league, right? It banned all normal Smogon ban things, Terra Blessing. We also banned weather items, just because weather could be kind of annoying in this format, so we definitely didn't want to allow people just to kind of run crazy with this. So we banned items that extended weather, and then we made a lot of the weather setters and weather abusers like max points, right? So this tier is like 12 points and below, I believe. So like any rain setter was like 12 points, any like really bad rain abuser was like 12 points. So with the 70-point budget, you wasted almost half of your budget already on just those 2 mons. You have to draft 9 mons, right? 9 to 11 mons minimum, and you need to have at least 2 Terra captains consisting of a 11-point budget. So yeah, so each Terra type would have 3 types, and then one of them has to be stabbed. So kind of like some old school type of Terra rules here, but regardless, I think it's going to be a fun season. Big shout out to Seth for willing to get it all going. We got this league going maybe like in 2 to 3 weeks, so yeah, really excited. We did get 2nd overall pick out of, I believe it was 12 coaches. 1 2 3 4 5 6, yeah, 12 coaches. We got 2nd pick, so we were able to get the first kind of pick. I was looking at a couple of things on the board. There's a couple of really good mons on there. I really wanted to focus on a strong Terra captain, and one of the Terra captains that I saw and I noticed that was really cheap, that I think could put in a lot of work, ended up being our first draft and our first pick, and that pick ended up being Sinistcha. Sinistcha, one of the most broken Terra mons in my mind, right? Gets Calm Mind, gets Iron Defense, gets super good setup. It gets recovery and its stab with Matcha Gotcha, right? And then it also gets Shadow Ball, right? Gets Iron Defense, it gets Calm Mind. Like, this thing can just boost up, right? So with this being my first pick, I really want to focus on a very strong Fire, Water, Grass core, and I think that's what I did here. Ended up picking up the Terra types in Grass, Steel, and Fairy. So I think those are the best typings for it. One does have to be stabbed, so we did have to rock out with the Ghost type. If I could switch it, maybe I'd want to do, I don't even know, maybe Dark would be cool, but one of the Terra types having to be stabbed, I think, is okay. So yeah, just really excited to start this off. This is a really strong start. I think 2nd overall pick, going to Sinistcha at 8 points out of our 70-point budget. Following up with this, I think I drafted another really strong pick in Blastoise. Blastoise was on the board for 11 points, so one below the highest tier, but this one is just great, right? Rapid Spin, first of all, so that if I get up hazards, you know, I don't have to rely on Defog. Also a very powerful Shell Smash mon in low tier Terra, which is really strong, right? ×2 in my special attack, physical attack, and speed. This thing can kind of pretty much sweep games. So I like its defensive utility here and its offensive utility, especially in lower tier draft league. So this mon is really strong, and hopefully it can put in a lot of work this season. We're going with the theme of like fire, water, grass, right? I decided to just fucking draft the GOAT. Draft the fucking GOAT, and I drafted Incineroar, baby. Incineroar, very strong in VGC. I've been playing a lot of VGC lately. I haven't been using a lot of Incineroar, but I love Incineroar. This mon is so good. It's also an ICP champion on the Sand team, just to let y'all know. Previous ICP champion, but Incineroar is just so good. Rick and Rock Boots. This thing eats hits from pretty much anything. It gets off an Intimidate on physical attackers. Really strong. If they're not fighting, if they're not ground, even if they are fighting, even if they are ground, they're not gonna knock this mon out after an Intimidate. It's insane how much this thing this thing can eat. You know, I was checking out Calx versus a Pawmot, and this thing actually eats a close combat after an Intimidate. Crazy, right? So if you switch this thing on a Pawmot, you knock it out with Flare Blitz. You knock yourself out, granted, but you eat the close combat. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, this thing is just a really great mon, and you know, it rounds out my strong grass, water, and fire core, which I thought was really important, especially here in low tier. So once I got that done, you know, just for some kind of context, me and Seth ran a bunch of like mock drafts to see how broken people's drafts would be in this kind of like lower tier format, and we realized that like ground types are very limited in this format. So if you don't grab a good ground type, you're kind of like a shit out of luck, right? I really had Clodsire on my radar because I think that mon is so good in this format. I think it could pretty much wall and beat anything 1v1 with Unaware, and with you know, strong ground typing, a strong poison typing as well, because you know, getting rid of T-spikes is really strong, and it sets up hazards. Didn't end up being able to get it. It actually got sniped, I think right before Blastoise. So you know, I was coming back on the wheel, I got Blastoise, my opponent got Clodsire, and I ended up picking up this Incineroar. But you know, going with the ground types, I decided to go with Flygon, which I think could be really strong here. My speed tiers are kind of slow at the moment, right? I got 70 at Shinishta, 78 at Blastoise, and then I had 60 at Incineroar. So this Flygon puts me at 100, which is a good baseline. I definitely want to go above it, but you know, just having a strong dragon ground stab here, I think is really strong. This thing can be ran especially offensive, physically offensive, like the Blastoise, right? So yeah, this mon is just really good. I think it's gonna be dropping Dracos all season, clicking Earthquake all season, clicking U-turn all season, clicking Boom Burst all season. Like, this thing can really do a lot, and I think it's gonna be very strong with its versatility in this lower tier format. So really strong here. And I figured, hey, I got the Fire, Water, Grass core. Let's go ahead and get the Dragon Fairy Steel core. I decided to go with Weezing. Weezing I really liked because I don't plan on running Levitate every week. Like, I know Levitate is great for it, but I really liked its fairy typing and its poison typing. So I think it fulfilled a lot of roles on my team. And yeah, just being able to absorb toxic spikes. If I see a really good toxic spiker against my opponent's team, I can just bring neutralizing gas, which is actually really good, even though it's like, you know, like not a very popular ability. I think being able to shut down folks' abilities is really powerful, because that's what makes Pokemon like really great, right? Sometimes is their ability. So yeah, this thing's just really great. I wanted to do some like Misty Terrain shenanigans, right? Like get like a Misty Unburden Abuser, but all the Unburden mons weren't really fitting with my squad, so I didn't end up doing that. Spoilers, but I still think Weezing can really provide a lot of utility for the team. Really great mon here. Next, instead of grabbing my steel type, I wanted to grab this Terra type. I saw everyone grabbing their last Terra types. Like, just as a reminder, right? We had an 11-point Terra budget, so I got Sinistra at 8 points with this Terra. So that means I could grab a 3-point Terramon. Now, in this 3-point Terramon, in this 3-point tier, there was a lot of mons that were catching my eye, right? We had Ampharos. Arbok was another mon catching my eye because I wasn't truly set on this Weezing Galar yet, but I was like, do I want to grab that? Chimecho was also catching my eye in this tier. Dunsparce was in this tier. Grotto was in this tier. Leavanny was in this tier. I think Monferno was in this tier as well, but I had already had Incineroar Reboot too, which I thought could have been a great mon here. And Wigglytuff. Those were like the ones I was kind of debating. Ended up going with this mon at the 3-point tier. I think it's just too good to pass up with the Sinistcha, and that's going to be Bruxish. Now, hear me out, okay? Like, before y'all start judging, Bruxish, okay? This thing gets Strong Jaw, okay? It gets Strong Jaw, it gets Psychic Fangs, it gets Crunch. Do I need to say anything else? I wish I got Thunderfang. Like, man, I wish I got Thunderfang. It would have been so much stronger. But this is still really strong, right? It gets a Wave Crash for stab and base 120 physical attack. It gets Psychic Fangs, like I said, with Terra Psychic. This thing is going to be clicking that move all day. And then also gets Crunch. So Crunch with Terra Dark is going to be very, very powerful. So I think this mon can do a lot for our team. Good breaker, and it could be really, really good because I don't always need a Terra Sinistcha. Like we learned in ICP lower tier, right? We don't always have to Terra the Sinistcha for it to be good. Sometimes this thing can come in conjunction with this and be really, really strong. So I like the Bruxish here. I think it was a good pick, and a very, very strong and going to be a sleeper Terra pick, I think. After that, we decided to go with the Steelmon, right? We got Cobalion. Man, this mon is going to be so good in low tier, like too good. I think this is one mon that we overlooked, and I definitely think me and Seth overlooked a couple mons, but this mon I think is going to be super good in low tier. It got Iron Defense this generation with Body Press, it gets Stealth Rock, it gets Volt Switch, it gets Calm Mind, it gets so much utility. Like this mon really have to guess in prep. Like a lot of folks, if you don't prep for it correctly, right, it could just sweep your team. Like this, I know for this gen it's really known for its Iron Defense Body Press sets, but like Calm Mind is nothing to sleep on. I think this thing won me a chip in Gen 7 with in the WPF when I played it. So Cobalion, another champion, man. We're just drafting champions on this team. We're trying to win a chip again this gen. We're trying to beat the ICP, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, Cobalion just a really strong mon here. Now at this point I had 10 points left in the draft. My team, I was a little bit scared I didn't have the best breakers, right? Because I had Flygon, I had Bruxish. I still wanted like a really good breaker, something that was kind of powerful, just hits really hard, right? So you know I had to draft Big Daddy Spidops. Big Daddy Spidops, baby. If you know me, if you've been following the channel, and if you haven't been following the channel, drop a sub. Drop a subby wubby. But honestly, Spidops is my fucking GOAT. You know, we took Spidops to Master Ball. You know, Spidops does his thing. But in all seriousness, this mon just provided a lot for my team. Spikes, webs, right? Spikes, webs, T-Spikes as well. And just a really good mon, right? Provides me U-turn as well. I think at 2 points this thing is just really strong, and it also gave me the ability to draft my next mon, which I really liked. So I think this was one of the best picks for me in the 2-point tier. Just being able to get up webs, especially in low tier. I feel like in low tier this thing's gonna be really good as well. Just being able to switch in on things, get up webs, right? That's really nice. Looking at my team, maybe I wish I would have got a Defiant mon, but I don't know what Defiant mons are here in low tier besides like maybe like a Bisharp or something. But yeah, with our last pick in the ICP, we drafted Big Zaddy with a Z, Regieleki, man. I'm really excited to fucking use this mon. Yeah, you know, like I mentioned earlier, ground types are very scarce in this format. There are actually a couple of teams that don't even have a ground type on their squad, so those teams will be punished severely. I'm looking at you, Seth. You don't have a ground type, and you have no ground Terras, boy. You're getting Choice Specs Volt switched on all week, okay? Homeboy Gray with a Crocorock. I see you. You got Crocorock. That shit getting Volt switched on, boy. Let's see, who else doesn't have a ground type? Cherry, your ground type will Terra out of it, and that shit getting Volt switched on, but you do have Lightning Rod. I think that's it. I think the rest of the teams got a ground type. But yeah, Regieleki, gonna put in some work. Really strong mon. It got access to Terra Blast as well, so it doesn't have to rely on any other type of special normal tag. If there's a ground type, click Terra Blast, do 30% and then switch out, and the next time if you have a Rock Slip, it's not going to be able to, you know, eat it again. So I think Regieleki is going to be really great in this format. I think my team is solid, yo. I think my team's solid. Like, take a peep. I think the squad is solid for low tier. Of course there are some big threats out there. I'll read off some of the people's first picks that, you know, might be kind of like not threatening for my team, but just threatening overall for the meta, right? Primarina, Metagross, regular Ndidi. Fuck is an Ndidi when I got an Incineroar though. Raikou, Arcanine Hisui, Regidrago, Rhyperior, Heracross. That squad looks a little annoying. Mienshao, Meloetta, Waterra, Low Kicks, Entei. Like, I don't know. I feel like my team is super strong. So we are going to see what happens. But that's going to be my draft analysis for the ICP. I'm very, very excited. If you are excited as well, make sure to show your support by leaving a like down below. If you are brand new, as always, definitely consider subscribing. Check out the description down below. Follow all the coaches for this season of the ICP. Join the Discord server, as well as me and Seth are going to be trying to have pick'ems, stuff like that, for you folks to enjoy and watch. And yeah, wish us good luck as we try to get our third chip with the ICP in 2 gens. Yeah, should be a fun one. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.